Most people hear the word creatine and think of bodybuilders, swollen muscles, or maybe something high school athletes sneak into their gym bag. But here's the reality. Creatine is now one of the most studied supplements in the world, and the conversation has shifted. Today, it's not just about athletes, it's about people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond who want to keep their strength, protect their independence, and even support their brain health. I'm Dr. Daniel Orcutt, orthopedic surgeon, and I've spent decades helping people through shoulder injuries and recovery. On this channel, I break things down so they actually make sense. No hype, no scare tactics, just straight answers that help you heal smarter and stay stronger. Quick question for you. Have you ever tried creatine, or are you still on the fence about it? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to see where everyone's at. So let's get into it. Creatine has been around since the early 1990s. Athletes were using it in the Olympics before it ever hit store shelves, and by the mid 90s, it was one of the top supplements in the world. Back then, it was marketed as something for bodybuilders, but fast forward to today, and we now know creatine has a much wider role. It's not just for gym rats, it's for anyone who wants to hold onto muscle, strength, and energy as they age. So, what exactly is creatine? It's not a steroid, it's a natural compound your body already makes. Your muscles and your brain store creatine, and its job is to help recycle energy. The easiest way to think of it is like a rechargeable battery. Your cells use a molecule called ATP for energy. Every time you move, lift, or even think, you burn through ATP. Creatine helps recharge those ATP batteries faster so your muscles and your brain can keep going. Now, why does that matter once you hit your 50s and 60s? Because starting around age 40, we all begin to lose muscle mass and strength. The medical term is sarcopenia. And if you don't fight it, you slowly slide toward weakness, frailty, falls, and even loss of independence. I've seen this firsthand in patients who came in after shoulder fractures or rotator cuff injuries. The ones who kept their muscle strength had far better recoveries than the ones who let it slip away. And that's where creatine comes in. It doesn't replace lifting, but when you combine creatine with resistance training, you consistently see better gains in strength and lean muscle than with training alone. For older adults, that means walking with more stability, carrying groceries with confidence, and even having the muscle reserve to bounce back faster after a surgery or an illness. By the way, if shoulder pain has been holding you back, whether you're lifting, recovering, or just trying to stay active, make sure you grab my free shoulder pain checklist. It's a simple resource I created to give you clear steps and confidence moving forward. The link is in the description of this video. Now, let's talk about some of the other benefits we're seeing. Creatine has shown positive effects on bone health. Stronger muscles tugging on bone actually stimulate bone strength, and creatine seems to amplify that effect. For anyone at risk of osteoporosis, that's important. There's also growing evidence around the brain. Studies show creatine may support memory, processing speed, and attention, especially in older adults and in people who don't eat much red meat or fish. There are even early signals it may help in conditions like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, though that research is still in its early days. What about the heart? Patients with heart failure often have lower creatine levels in their heart muscle. Supplementation has been shown to improve exercise tolerance and reduce fatigue, which is huge for people going through cardiac rehab. And even in healthy adults, better cellular energy means more capacity to push through workouts and daily life. Now let's tie this back to the shoulder specifically. If you're preparing for surgery, creatine can help you build up a little extra muscle reserve before you go under the knife. That means you enter the recovery process stronger, which often makes the road back easier. During rehab, once you're cleared for strengthening, creatine can help you get more out of each therapy session. And by protecting the muscles around the shoulder joint, like the rotator cuff and scapular stabilizers, you reduce unnecessary strain on the joint itself. But here's one thing I want to be absolutely clear about. Creatine does not make your tendon heal faster. There's no evidence it speeds tendon recovery after a tear or surgery. Tendons have their own biology and healing timeline that you can't shortcut. What creatine does is help your muscles respond better to training. And stronger muscles give your shoulder more support as you recover. So, how do you actually use creatine? The sweet spot for most adults is 3 to 5 grams per day of creatine monohydrate. That's the form that's been studied the most, it's the cheapest, and it works. Some people do a loading phase, taking higher doses for a week before dropping down, but you don't have to. If you just start with 3 to 5 grams daily, your muscles will reach full levels within a few weeks. Consistency is far more important than timing. When should you take it? Honestly, the best time is the time you remember. Some evidence suggests taking it with a meal that has protein or carbs might help absorption, but the key is daily use. And if you forget a day, don't panic. Just get back on track the next day. What about side effects? For healthy adults, creatine is very safe. Some people notice a little water retention in the first week, usually just a pound or two, but that's water stored inside your muscles, not fat. Occasionally, people get an upset stomach if they take a big scoop all at once, so splitting the dose or mixing it into a meal helps. Rarely people worry about cramps, but that usually comes down to hydration. And here's a critical safety note. Before starting any supplement, including creatine, check with your doctor. That's especially true if you have kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, or if you're on multiple medications. Even if you're perfectly healthy, it's smart to let your doctor know what you're taking so they can interpret your lab work correctly and keep your care clear. There are also a lot of myths floating around. Some people still think creatine is a steroid. It's not. Others think it causes hair loss. Evidence for that is weak and inconsistent. And some believe you need fancy creatine blends, but the truth is, plain creatine monohydrate is still the gold standard. So, who should consider creatine after 50? If you're lifting weights, if you're trying to hold onto muscle during weight loss, if you're vegetarian or vegan, or if you're preparing for or recovering from surgery, creatine deserves a serious look. It won't replace good nutrition or strength training, but it amplifies the work you're already putting in. Let's bring this home. Creatine is one of the simplest, safest, and most effective supplements for protecting muscle and strength as we age. It won't heal your tendons faster, but it will help your muscles perform better in training, which means more strength, more independence, and more resilience for whatever life throws at you. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. I post new videos every Thursday at 3 p.m. to help you stay strong, recover smarter, and protect your shoulders for the long run.